कुदरत के सिवाय कोई बचा नहीं सकता है। और सब जिसको जैसा भी समझ में आया वो अपने अपने बचाव में, कोई किधर छुप गया, कोई किधर भाग गए। और वो तो सब जानते हैं कि उसके बाद में तो क्या हाल हुआ है। जैसे लोग हाथ में आ गए, उनको मारना, काटना, जिंदा जलाना।
While Gujarat continued to live on the edge of communal violence, justice continued to elude the victims of horrific human rights violations. At a time when activists and lawyers involved in the human rights violation cases were being harassed and intimidated, the Gujarat unit of Human Rights Law Network actively participated in legal trials and intervened to provide legal support to the riot victims.
On the front of communalism, after the riots of 2002, large-scale massacre had taken place in Ahmedabad and outside Ahmedabad also, in the areas like Naroda Patia, Naroda Gam, Gulbarg Society, and Dipra Darwaja, Ode. In all these cases, where the victims were all Hindus, the cases were closed and no investigation was done. But after the intervention of Supreme Court in the case of National Human Rights Commission, the cases were reopened, and Supreme Court constituted a special investigation team, SIT, and SIT carried out investigation, and all the accused who were scot-free, they were arrested, and now the trial is going on. We are participating in the trial of Naroda Patia and Naroda Gam. So now those trials are going on, and several top-notch ministers have also been arrested.
अब हम तो क्या है कि हमारे यहाँ पार्टियाँ में ज़्यादातर लोग तो अनपढ़ लोग हैं। यहाँ पर कोई मतलब एजुकेशन में तो बहुत ही पिछड़े हुए हैं। तो जहाँ पर भी हमको ये कानूनी सहाय की और इसकी ज़रूरत पड़ती है तो वो गाइडेंस करते हैं और हमारे को अच्छी हेल्प करते रहते हैं। और हमारे लिए जो कुछ भी लड़ते रहते हैं वो लोग, और आज भी लड़ रहे हैं। पूरा इन लोगों की वजह से ही हुआ, नहीं तो हमारी ताकत नहीं थी कि हम इतनी बड़ी लड़त लड़ सकते थे। जितने भी जो ये पीड़ित लोग हैं, पीड़ित, और ख़ासकर मैं हमारे पार्टी की बात करता हूँ कि हमारे अंदर यहाँ पर ऐसा अगर ये थोड़ा बहुत ये साथ साकार नहीं मिलता तो हम लोग की हिम्मत नहीं थी कि हम लड़ पाते।
India may be the second fastest growing economy in the world with a predicted 9% growth. But for many Indians, this growth has made no difference at all. For India's women, this divide is deeper still, despite unparalleled economic growth. More women and girls die from largely preventable pregnancy-related causes in India than anywhere else in the world.
The providers do not take any responsibility. They merely turn the family away and ask them to, quote unquote, go elsewhere. So the family has no idea where they are supposed to go. They don't have transportation. They probably have no more money left, and the woman is getting worse by the minute. Women who die are often women where families have made enormous efforts to try and seek care. But in the absence of supported referral, not knowing where to go, the woman ends up losing her life.
Shanti Devi's story is truly representative of thousands of women who have lost their lives during pregnancy. In 2008, a pregnant woman, Shanti Devi, had been forced to carry a dead fetus for more than 5 days at grave risk to her health. She was denied emergency obstetric care from 4 different hospitals because she could not pay the fees demanded. It almost cost Shanti Devi her life. Refusing to accept such treatment, Shanti Devi's family and her community turned to court. On December 2008, they filed a writ petition, Lakshmi Mandal versus Deen Dayal Harinagar Hospital and others in the Delhi High Court.
संजय गांधी अस्पताल में उसे दाखिला करवाने के लिए ले गया। वहाँ दिन भर एक इंजेक्शन देकर के भर दिन बाहर रखा उसे। फिर उसके बाद ये कहा कि भाई यहाँ तो भर्ती नहीं लेंगे। हम लोग बोला क्यों नहीं भर्ती लोगे? तो बोला भैया तो 8,000 रुपया दो या नहीं तो 4 बोतल खून दो।
Hospitals were not ready to evacuate her uterus, to remove that dead fetus from her uterus, and she had to go to 5 different hospitals. all the time, with this suffering. And in between, she was sent to one of the private hospitals also, and they asked her to bring 2 lakh rupees. So when it came out in the newspapers, HRLN got onto the track and it filed a case.
The Human Rights Law Network worked in close cooperation with the Mandal family in providing legal aid in filing the case and continued its support to the family during the case in the court.
We started our work on reproductive rights recently when we came across case after case of very poor women delivering babies on pavements, on the roadside, under trees. Very close to the public hospitals, we found that they had no place to go really because they couldn't afford to pay even the low fees of the public hospitals. And the most tragic case, of course, was Shanti Devi's case.
During the time of her application in the court, Shanti Devi was pregnant again. This time, scarred from the trauma they had faced during the time of Shanti's previous pregnancy, the couple turned to a private doctor. Shanti Devi faced complications yet again. The evening before the scheduled ultrasound, she delivered an underweight premature baby girl at home, her 6th pregnancy. The system failed her completely. She fell through the huge gaps in the system not once but twice. The second incident cost her her life.
इधर एक लड़की हुई है तो 1 घंटा जी है और लड़की पैदा हो गई है, धरती पे गिर गई, फिर उसके खूब सारा खून निकला है, खून निकले बाद 1 घंटा बाद वो खत्म हो गई.
Despite what government claims, Shanti's death was never registered as a maternal death. In June 2010, the Delhi High Court issued a final judgment in Shanti's case, recognizing maternal mortality as human rights violation.
Lakshmi Mandal is a very important judgment in the area of health rights, as it has recognized right to survive childbirth and pregnancy as a fundamental right. The petitioners through this judgment has got various benefits which they should have gotten during their pregnancy and childbirth, and they also were granted compensation by the court. It has made a history as it has recognized the reproductive right as a fundamental right.